Testing. How's it going? Starting the stream. A little later, I had to take care of some other stuff. Just want to make sure it's running smoothly. Hope everyone's doing good. Today we're going to continue working on the UI redesign stuff and whatever we can get done. I'm hoping to get most of it done, and then I can maybe spend a little time polishing it over the weekend, and then we'll put out V1 of the redesign on Monday, along with the new world and obstacle. If you're not familiar with me or my game, my name is Dylan, and my game is Emoji Pop, which you see right here. So Emoji Pop is a bubble shooter puzzle game. You get moves over time, which you can use on this bubble shooter level. And then when you run out of moves, you have to give it some time to wait. So it's important to hit these stars along the way. You see one at the bottom here. Stars open up mini challenges, and if you beat these mini challenges, it'll earn you bonus moves. You get to actually spin a slot machine, which gives you moves, and so you can win a lot of moves actually. So by getting these stars, you can continually make progress. The point is that you never get permanently stuck. So that's why the game is designed like this, because the way these games are made in the mobile app stores, they go level by level by level, which forces players to get stuck for long periods of time. And when they get stuck for long periods of time, that results in burnout, because bubble shooters are a skill-based game, unlike match 3s. There's actual dexterity. There's in terms of aiming and firing, that's actually difficult for casual gamers. So the games on the app stores that are tailored to the casual gamers, they remove all sense of skill in order to make money with the level by level approach. And I think it results in a game that honestly isn't. It's not. I don't know. It's not embracing bubble shooters in their true form. It's covering up bubble shooters, if anything. So it's not the right progression system for this kind of game. So my game is doing it totally differently. That's why I have a totally different progression system. You can play the game right now. Obviously, it's still in development, but it's a live game. It's a game about game development, so that's why I'm developing it on stream with my players. I have chatters followers like MattManPS2 who have given me feedback that has really shifted the way I'm doing things, especially with the UI right now. So I can show you. This is the new version of the game, and this is the old version of the game. So it used to be we had all these bottom UI buttons, and we also had all these badges for the different things like side events in the game, and it was all on one screen along with the current level that you're on. And we decided it was too cluttered and confusing, and also it kept important stuff tucked away in this bottom UI. So in order to play other people's levels, you have to go into this side bottom UI button, and then you can pick the levels people played. But that's I want that to be more at the forefront, you know? So what we did, with a lot of feedback from my followers, is we got rid of all the clutter, no more event badges on the sides. We also got rid of the bottom UI layer. So all that content, all that stuff that was in these UI buttons is now held within this home screen. So we can go back to the home screen. Oh, so I updated these buttons. Let me hit. So we actually did some more updates, but so for example, you can hit this play button to go back into the game. You can hit the create button to open up the level creator. This is where you design your own levels. So maybe while you're waiting for your moves to regenerate, you can design levels, and then you can share them with everyone in the world. So by hitting the level folder button, these are all the levels I've made. So this is the most recent. So I could hit share, and I get a web link for my level that I can send to anyone. I can directly post it to social media with Twitter or Facebook. But the point is that I like games where you can make games within them. So I like games, even games like I like Minecraft and The Sims, because you can kind of just do whatever you want and make stuff. But especially recent games like, Little Big Planet, Mario Maker, Dreams, Fortnite Creative Mode, all these kinds of games. I love that you can make your own levels, but it's so limited. The most limited thing about it is that your audience is incredibly limited. It's limited to the people who have this specific game, and you can't really directly send levels often. I want to be able to the social interactions of my game. I want them to take place on social media, not within my game. And also, I don't want to limit. So Dreams on the PS4 is a creative game that allows you to make insane games without coding, which I think is really cool. But you can't share them with anyone who doesn't have a PlayStation and that game and stuff like that. So with my game, you can share levels directly. So if you share this to Twitter, someone would click this link and they would immediately start playing your level. They don't need to. They can do this from any mobile or computer device. They don't need to create an account. They don't need to install anything or register or whatever. So I think that is so cool that your audience is literally the whole world. So like my goal in these streams and the development in general is to make crazy things in the game that allow players to make even crazier levels that I couldn't even imagine. Kind of like how Minecraft worlds sometimes go viral. Like someone makes Pokemon within Minecraft, or someone recreates, Hogwarts or whatever it is. I want to create features in my game that allow players to really do whatever they want, like to a crazy degree. And I want them to be able to make levels that go viral and create. I want my players to be able to get social media followings and form a community online. So one of the ways I'm trying to counter the game design patterns of corporate game developers like King and the other large developers, Zynga, whatever, is to create games. Well, like I said before, that change the game progression so that they're less manipulative. So I don't have I don't pinch players, so therefore my games are less manipulative. The game is free right now, so it's not gonna hurt players financially. And so also another big thing that I think is important for creating a positive relationship between the game and player is to create features in the game that are beneficial to the player, that give them some kind of, I don't know, like if they spend money in a game, they should be getting something out of that enriches their lives or something, instead of just vacuous progress, especially if they spend hundreds of dollars in the game. So I think inherently my game is already a little healthier because it has this creative feature that increases, that it encourages community, and it teaches players a valuable skill that they can use to actually get a job and earn a living. So my first job in the games industry was as a level designer on these bubble shooter puzzle games. So I know that it's possible to make a good living just doing this. From your phone, you can be practicing. One thing that I love about my game is that you don't need to like learn how to code in order to design these games. So that's the big barrier for a lot of people who want to learn how to make games. They spend all this time coding games and very little time thinking about the actual design of games. So when I was in college, I spent most of my time learning the engineering side of games, and then like the little game design kind of stuff was like really limited by the technology we could do, or frankly we just didn't really give much thought about it. So I made a game called Numbo Jumbo my senior year as part of our last final project or whatever, and it was like an all-year project, and everyone made these 3D games, kind of like these Unity kind of games, and they all got tons of like feedback and like negative feedback and stuff like that, and our game was the only one to get like a satisfactory like approval. They basically said, like, oh, it looks like you're basically done, this is a fun game, I don't have any real feedback. And that's because we made like a 2D puzzle game, and so what we did was made a gameplay system that was fun to play, but like there's nothing much to it, but it's fun. And so well, I'm starting to lose my train of thought with this, but the point is that we think very little about the design. So even in the education of people learning to become game developers, especially mobile games, they don't understand them at all. They're all about training these people to be engineers for AAA companies that make console games or whatever. Like, so they don't really think about the psychology of mobile puzzle games or things like that. They didn't even think about, like, if I was in the teacher's position advising this, I would say, so we made like a gameplay system, like imagine just the bubble shooter gameplay and that was it to the game. I would say, like, you need to build community, you need to find ways to provide players with long-term value, you need to find ways to get them invested and see how that they'll be benefited for investing in the game for the long haul. And so there's lots of ways these puzzle games do that, and I learned a lot of that when I was in the industry, and so I had to kind of go through the industry to learn this stuff. But my point with all this is I can teach you all this stuff just by you playing Emoji Pop and you watching the streams and watching my YouTube tutorials and just being a part of the community and playing levels of other people who make these levels in my game and giving them feedback. I think you can get the training you need to be able to do this in the real world at whatever company you want. And even if you wanted to make more complex games, I think this game still provides you with a foundation of game design that applies everywhere. But also, I think if you master one arena of game design, I think that experience allows you to more easily operate in other genres and other gameplay systems and other arenas, because you've gone through the experience of like understanding the nitty gritty of spending like day after day like making these bubble shooter levels, for example. Like you learn how to make the most out of something. You learn how to harness the full potential of something like practically, and there's lots of little skills that are involved in that and a lot of experience required. And so if you're able to do that with one kind of genre, which I think the bubble shooter genre is the perfect genre to start off with for many reasons, then I think that's going to make it easier in whatever game design arena that you're interested in. Alright, that's probably enough talking for now. So today we're working on continuing that redesign. So let's go back to what I was showing you. Yeah, so this is the old version, and you could like slide between these different things. It was all kind of ugly, and we're working on making it a lot better right now, as I said with my followers in the chat. So this little home icon needs some work. I'm not exactly sure. We need some kind of consistent home button throughout so players know that they can go back to the home. So yeah, so play all the important stuff at the top, which is the main campaign is here. Let me refresh. We might have to relaunch the game. Oh no, we're good. So yeah, the important stuff is at the top, like playing the game, the campaign mode, opening the level editor, and looking through your levels to open a level. These are like the main features of the game, so they're all featured at the top, and these big buttons that look better now. We'll see them in a second. And in the middle it says the name of the game. So yeah, I was working with Mattman PS2 to work on these buttons, and he showed me kind of like how to do drop shadow, so when you touch it, it'll like, on some of them it'll like punch down if they persist on the screen. So yeah, importance of the top. Here's the name of the game. It says it twice. I feel like one of these I should maybe use to do something else. I'm not sure yet. So these are all my social media links. I feature them prominently because to me social media is a part of my game, literally. So as I said, the game is about game design in some sense. It's all about the community and building this community of aspiring game designers and people who love this genre and want to explore it more. So that's why I feature Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Discord. So feel free to... Actually, this will be live on Monday, so on Monday this will all be featured. And then in the middle is our emoji avatar. So every player has their own emoji avatar. There's not too many pieces for it, so we made this pop-up to hold all this stuff. So, for example, there's the body. Right now there's 3 categories: bodies, eyes, mouths. We got a mouth. We got a mask on our mouth right now, but you don't have to wear it. Green, blue, red. There's like lots of fancier ones that I have ready to go out, and some more that I'm developing. That'll all be, maybe this will be like a week 2 or week 3 thing. So every week I want to have like an objective. So this week 1 has been the UI redesign, and we're getting close to being done with that, at least the V1 or whatever. Always room for improvement. But maybe V2 could be this pop-up, making the shop full of stuff, and maybe working on the tasks system a little bit more, and making all of this UI stuff maybe a little more appealing or whatever. So that could be one kind of road we go down. And then this is where I was going to feature like videos and stuff, but I think I'll get rid of that. I'll probably put it somewhere else. And then at the bottom we display the levels that are currently trending. So we have some functionality stuff to do here. That's probably where we'll start. So for example, I can't go back now. I have to hit play. This doesn't take me to this. I advertise whoever's level this is. I advertise their Twitter. Should probably make a better pop-up for this. Maybe that's something we can do today. That level's a little broken because it doesn't show our second bubble. We can fix that in the code. This one works though. So you beat the level, and we made it so that once you win or lose, let me just lose real fast. So this is actually a good introduction to the new obstacle that's coming on Monday. So every Monday I release whatever we've been working on, but also I release a new emoji in the game and a new world of levels. So this emoji is the ghost emoji, and it becomes transparent every other turn. So usually there's some that are transparent, some that aren't transparent. And so you can shoot through them when they're transparent. So I can make this top red match even though there's tons of stuff in the way. But now I have to deal with these ghosts, and once they become not transparent, I can make matches with them. So yeah, that's kind of the state of everything. I love how much more room I have now that we got rid of the bottom UI bar. That also helps in the main campaign. I also love the new UI, the aim box, the light blue thing here. That was repurposed with the advice of a couple of my followers. Just so you know, I am watching the chat on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, or I will be in a second. Actually, I might not have opened them. Let me open that now. I have the Twitch on my screen, but not the YouTube or Twitter. Okay, I got the YouTube chat open. Let me open it up on Twitter. Alright. We're good to go. Alright, so let's get started. So the back doesn't work. Let's do that first. That's easy. So this is like, I always try to pick a easier task to get started with because I have to kind of like reacquaint myself with everything, like where everything is, what we're just doing. So the level is open in the inner content level, I believe. Inner content layer. So it closes the home layer and opens up this, and there's this like transition to home function which we can call to remove whatever's on the screen and go back to the home, I believe. Close home for trending level. Okay, so this is the function that opens the trending level. This is what I was looking for. Okay, so this gets rid of the home layer in these two lines. Then it opens, it kind of creates the level data we need to make the bubble layer, which this is where we create the bubble layer. And we add the play button and back button and social media button. So we need to have another function opposite of this that removes all the, I think that removes all this stuff. Let's close home for trending level. It's called somewhere else. There's something I just thought of. So where's the, let's look for the on touch end. We'll remember this, but on touch end is where we call the function that looks to see if we hit the back button. So let's first just make the hook for that. So on touch end, quit. So this is where we check. Did they hit the play button? If they did, remove all the stuff. So instead of writing a function, we can just do it here, I guess. This really quick. Okay, else if back button it's called. So if the player hits the back button instead of the play button, we need to change the flags. So one of them is that trending level in prog, but that's false. We need to set the other flag. It's like trending level open or something. Feature level open. So we set that to false, so we know that we're in the home layer. And let's remove all the stuff. We can just copy and paste all this. We need to remove the bubble layer as well. So I remove it and then I set it to null, which I think recycles all the memory or whatever. So this is where they add the quit. We don't need to worry about that. So then we need to make the home layer visible again. So I think we do that by this.homelayer.set scale to 1. So it was 0 before. This.homelayer dot visible equals true. Alright, so let's refresh and see if we can hit the back button. Feel free to ask me any questions about the game in the chat, or play the game at playmojipop.com and send me your levels, or give me feedback about the game just right here. Home. Another thing I need to do is kind of open this on a few different devices and make sure everything is consistent or sized okay. Like for example, if there wasn't enough room, then maybe some stuff would be jumbled up, but I don't think that's the case. We work from the top to the bottom with this in the middle of whatever this stuff is. We could probably scale this down if there's not enough room. That would make it so that we always have enough room. So let's pick a level and hit back. And that now works. Another step towards completing this. I can't do the drop shadows here because they just immediately disappear, so I don't think there's a point. Oh, I could do it when you press down, actually. I could do that. That might be cool. Actually like that a lot. Maybe we'll do that today as well. So we'd have to, there's like an on touch down and an on touch end. So we'd have to work with the on touch down or whatever, and when that happens, see if a button's being pressed, update its sprite. So what should we do next? So this social media button doesn't work. Let's probably do that when we do the whole UI redesign of that anyway. Should we do that now? I want to also show the avatar emoji. that's gonna be a little more work. Maybe we'll do that in the afternoon. Let's go back. I'm gonna write down a list of things we need to do, like in the immediate, so we're ready for release, not including some stuff that we'll probably do after that. Opening up Notepad. So UI redesign must do list. So this is the essentials. So this will be for regarding the trending levels. We need to have it so we need to fix the pop-up, the box for level made by. So we need to like update all that graphically and functionally as well. I need to make sure that like it's linking to Twitter, or if they don't, yeah, option for no link to. So we have the trending levels. We also need to think about there's the buttons more generally. Like for one thing we want to do is the drop shadow when touch down. There's probably more. I'll come back to that. What are the other categories we need to think about? I think we might be okay with this stuff for now. Everything in this pop-up we'll have to do. There's a lot of stuff to rethink, so we'll do that next week, I think. Social media links are working. Oh, so another thing is home button. Design. So it should be consistent, question mark. So like one problem I have is I have this home button. I need, in these different screens, I need you to be able to go back to the home. And so in the level editor, it makes sense to have this home button here, because there's these little buttons that do stuff right here. So, and there are these little images, so that kind of makes sense. But when I open the level browser, I need bugs, level browser button works, doesn't work. If touch top half, okay. Yeah, so I put a home button here. It's like, so it's the same image, but it's small and doesn't really seem like it belongs. Maybe we can make it bigger, or maybe put an arrow. Maybe we put like an arrow, back arrow next to it. I want to see how low do the bubbles go. Okay, so that's as low as they're gonna go. So we can't make. I guess we can make it bigger and just make it sure it's on top. Let's try to make it like 50% bigger. So this is in the level browser. Let's search for. Oh, it's actually right here. Home button's right here. Let's make it somewhat. Oops, that's smaller. So let's just see what that looks like. It's layer 5, so I think that's above everything, so it'll appear on top. I'm watching the chats on Twitter and YouTube and Twitch. I'm streaming Monday through Friday. I stream once in the morning, one session. Usually it's earlier than this, but today it was a little late. But it's a little flexible, but stream in the morning, and I do another stream in the evening, both for like 2 to 3 hours. And so most of those will be game development. Sometimes in the afternoon I like to switch it up with some other stuff, like I'll play other creative games or other indie games, or we'll talk about game development stuff more generally. Home level browser, so it looks bigger. Okay, let's open up a long level. Okay, so at least this reads more like an essential thing. I don't know, maybe it should be like in a button. Maybe that would make it look better. It could be like on a white button, but everything is white. Whatever I do to it should be the same in here. Maybe this should be on the far left, and it should be considered like separate from these, and it should be bigger. And that way they're both in the same position. So okay, this might be a decent workaround. It's interesting solving these kinds of problems because there's often no perfect solution, and so it's an interesting creative problem to try to find the best solution that bridges everything the most. So I'm going to open up the editor layer, and let's see, where do we create the home button? Home button equals what I'm searching for. Here it is. So we're going to make it on the far left. It's going to be the same size as the other one we made. Oops. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see if I don't know. See if there's anything else we can do. I'm also wondering if this is a good home button. It's green. It probably would be a different color, but I want it to be green because I want it to like catch the player's attention and really welcome their touching it. Maybe I'll put an arrow pointing towards it. Another thing is when we run out of moves, there's going to be a bunch of bugs. Oh, I think I fixed that actually. So when you run out of moves, maybe there should be like an arrow pointing to this home button. Maybe that's something I should do. So that's all of that to the list actually. Because I had that other stuff with the other UI. Home button should be consistent. So maybe we can cross this off once we're done with this, but yeah. So I don't know which one this should be considered under, but I'll just write it. Tutorial arrow when run out of moves points to home button. Alright. So next week I think we'll work on this avatar pop-up, and that includes working on the task system, which rewards you stuff and sometimes rewards you boosters. So we need to, that's like kind of encompassing a lot of stuff we need to make sure is running well and seeing if there's any advancements to be made. And then we also need to add other stuff to the shop and make sure the purchasing of these goods is working. And I think there's a couple bugs, which is why I held back on releasing some of these purchasable items. And then maybe we can update some of the UI stuff if we see. Yeah, maybe we can update some of the UI stuff. I think these should look more like buttons that we've used in the past, so you can kind of, looks like you can touch them, you know. And then maybe the week after that we can focus on, I want to integrate videos and like my recordings and stuff and tutorials into the game. And so to do that, there's gonna be like a page of videos, or maybe it'll include stuff I released on YouTube or whatever, and players can watch it within the game and they can minimize it. I want them to be able to minimize it and continue playing the game with it still playing. So that's like something I've got mostly done. At least I have functionality working different parts of different functionality work in different places. We just need to put it all together. So I think that could be another big win week. So I'm thinking, just want to write this down before I forget. Schedule. So week 1, UI redesign, home layer flow. So that's what we did this week, or still finishing. Week 2, we're working on the meta pop-up. We're working on the meta, we'll say. Avatar pop-up. Including tasks, rewards, purchasable, or cosmetics, I'll say. And then, so I'm listing possible weeks. We can always rearrange this later, or combine, or separate things. Video integration. Watch tutorials, vids while playing. Can minimize. Visit on open on side. So like you should be able to have videos, and you can like play the video, pause it, minimize it, put it in the corner, open it on a different web window. So I want kind of that UI stuff to be ready for it. So when you click video, it opens in the middle and starts playing. I want you to be able to have buttons that say YouTube's here, minimizes here, and it puts it in the corner. And then when you click it again, it opens it up again. But the idea is you can minimize it, and then you can continue doing what you're doing in the game, whether it's playing or designing levels. So especially it's going to be useful for when you're designing levels. You can like watch a level design tutorial inside, or listen to me talk about game design or whatever. So I think like integrating all of this together, the more I can integrate social media and combine these things, like what I'm doing on video, what I'm doing in the stream, and as the community, and as the community in the Discord, all of these things I can integrate together in this game. That's kind of my point of that. So that's like a few main things. I think that might be all of the essentials we need to work on that are like bigger categories. Like there's other things like streaming integration. So I removed. How goes the grind, Matt? Man, it's going good. How's it going with you on your end? I just started kind of working on some of these little things we still need to do to make the functionality working on the UI, and I think I'm going to do the Dropbox stuff soon, so when you press down a button it goes down. I'm also, right now, I'm kind of like, I just was thinking about everything else we need to do for the next month or so, so I'm kind of figuring out like some possible, like, I want to do like one thing a week and have like a release every Monday, so I'm thinking like how we can split up the other things I want to do. Talking about, so next week we'll probably work on the meta stuff, which includes everything that's pop-up, like the tasks that you can complete for rewards, and the emoji shop. And so a lot of this is UI, some of it's functionality and design, but we'll do that next week. Week after that I was thinking of doing videos. Goes good for me, says Mattman. Prob's working on another hour until I take the weekend off. Awesome. I hope you enjoy your weekend off. I love cutting it a little short on Fridays. I think that's necessary in our industry. It's different working alone, because I'm working alone on this project, but I used to work in, at a larger company, and Fridays is when we'd always like drink in the office and everyone starts kind of chatting and playing games, so those are fun times. You have any weekend plans? I guess it's stupid to ask people what their plans are during a pandemic, but I'm not sure where you live. In the United States, a lot of things are locked down, especially where I am. So another thing is streaming integration. We had a list of streamers that stream the game. Took that out, but we can always re-implement it. And I want to show, like, at least when I'm live, someone in the game can see I'm live and go to my page, or they get a notification. That's like one thing. Mattman says, going up north to my mom's cottage. I live in MI is Michigan, I think. Awesome. That's cool. That seems like a good way you can, yeah, like you're not going crazy, you're going on a little trip. That's awesome. I'm really envious. I really want to like take a trip or something. Cottage sounds nice. A cottage. What even is a cottage? I know what it is, but like, I always just think of like a beautiful little home, kind of. Streaming integration. Lake house. Ah, that sounds awesome. Second home, lol. Got it. Oh, that's nice. I'm in Central California and it's really hot. I think it's gonna be like 110 this weekend, unless I'm crazy. Streaming integration. There's something else I was thinking about. Oh yeah, then there's like the possibility of like additional modes and then level editor functionality. Mattman says it's 75 and sunny here. That sounds beautiful. That sounds amazing. 75 is like 75 or 80 is like my ideal temperature. It's so hot in California in the summers, like it's insane. It was once like 118 degrees like 3 days in a row. It was insane. And then we get blackouts and stuff and fires from it. Level editor functionality. Okay, I think that's all like the main things. Just wanted to put that out while I had it all in my head. Those are like the core gains to be made at this point. Okay, so one bug I saw is I can't hit the top half of this level browser folder button. So let's go to the home layer. That's what it's called. And here's the folder button, and let's see why. We're probably using a position that we haven't localized to this layer. So that's why it's only working in part of the button, because the positioning is off. So we're gonna go to on touch end. So here's the folder button, and we're using pose, but everything else is using POS too. That's so weird. One thing I wanted to do anyway while we're here is see if we can do one of these Dropbox buttons. Let's do it for the campaign button. So on touch ended. So this is like the simplest way to experiment with that. So we actually don't have an on touch began yet. On touch began function pose. And we also need an on touch moved. Madman PS2 says, could you update your game in real time if you wanted? That's an additional bonus of not being on App Store. If so, gotta wait for reviews. Yeah, so that's a great point. That is another huge advantage. And so, especially if you look at these like larger studios that have like they have an iOS version of the game, they have an Android version of the game, they have a Sony tablet version of the game, they have a Kindle version of the game, or whatever, Facebook version of the game. They have to like update all of these. They're all different technology stacks to some degree. They have all different review processes. For the larger companies, they can get quick turnarounds because they have the connections. But for smaller developers, I think there's somewhat of even a wait time and stuff. And so yeah, that was a great point, Matt, man. I'm glad you mentioned that. I can update my game literally just by putting new files to the website. So whenever I want, I can just make, like on the fly, if there's like a bug in the game, I can literally just hit a button and it's updated on all devices internationally. So I think that's cool. That's a cool part of like making it a web game too. That's a good point. I haven't thought about that in a while, but it's awesome too. Like yeah, if I see a level's too hard or too easy, I can just I can like be watching the level data and just I don't have that set up yet, as you know. Oh, that's another thing. I want to do analytics at some point. More analytics. But yeah, and so I can just like constantly be like tailoring things. It's I can push things out a little more recklessly, especially because I have a small audience, but also because I can fix them if I see something's wrong. On touch moved, on touch began. So if we touch if the position of the touch is within the campaign button, and yeah, like one thing I really want to know is I want to know what's the real appeal of being in the App Store as a really small developer, because Mattman PS2 says, yeah, iOS review time is 24 hours to 48 hours. Google Play is up to 72 generally for all game devs, small and big. Okay, good to know. At my one studio, there was like a couple times where someone messed up and the game was broken, even though it somehow got through. Some part of it was broken or whatever. And they were like, they could call someone up and be like, we need this to be pushed through or whatever. So I think there's some like ability for the giant devs to like they're allowed to kind of bypass some of this, I think. At least like in emergencies maybe. That's interesting though. Yeah, that could be. I could see it being so frustrating. Yeah, when you get big, you can definitely do that. LOL. Yeah, okay. But I want to know like. Because I'm not on the app stores. This is like I want to be on a website anyway because I'm still like developing the game. I want to focus on making an audience, and I think the best way to do that is be totally online, so that everything happens online and it's social media oriented and everything. And I don't have to like lose any money, because if I were to make the app in the App Store, and if I were to someday like sell something, related to the game, then Apple would like demand a slice of that, and so I don't want that integration with Apple, but I also want to know, like, because a lot of developers are like, why isn't this on the App Store yet? Why haven't we put it in the App Store? And there's reasons for that, in terms of I just want to make an audience and then have like a big wave when I release an app eventually. That'll be a little different than this game. I mean, my current game, since PS2, is getting natural growth via App Store and ASO. Okay, that's what I was wondering. That makes sense. And yeah, you have like a pretty big audience, at least like to me it seems like a big audience, so it makes sense that you must be getting some organic growth. Interesting. But you could also get organic growth online as well, right? I wonder if there's more potential for growth on the App Store, but I think that same thing still applies in terms of social media and on Google. So to me, I want to release an app once I have something unique, and once I have an audience, and I want to make like a game that's like I want to make a version of my game that's more casual for like the casual players on the iPhone devices that aren't going to be going to a website, I guess. And then I'm more okay selling like little boosters and stuff like that in the game. So like that, I'll make like a version of the game for the App Store, but I want it to be like distinctly different than my game, I want this to be like my platform, which is kind of the way I'm thinking about it right now. This.pose within scaled. So if it's within it, we need to update the button. So this.campaign button dot press down will do the Dropbox shadow. It'll replace the sprite with our second button sprite. This, oh yeah, so if they moved, so also let's just make this function really fast. Campaign button, so press down is the function. And one thing I want to do is to set a flag to pressed. This.pressed equals true. Yeah, thanks for checking in, Mattman PS2, though. I know you might have to go soon, but it's awesome having you as a regular here. This.pressed. True. So in addition to that, we're going to update the sprite. So the name of the sprite is button BG. So we're going to update it. And yeah. So it's going to be play BG. What is it called? Did I even add it to resource? Play BG down res play. I forget what it's called. We can probably open up this. I still don't have Photoshop yet, but that's on my to-do list for the weekend. Still haven't even closed this from yesterday. So this is called Green BG2 down. .png, comma, play BG down. So this, let's just see what, okay, actually one more thing we need to do before we just test it out a little bit first is we need to add an onTouchBegan check to inner content layer. So let's go to onTouchBegan. So if the level's open, there's an onTouchBegan for there. So when you start touching the aim, it does that there. Let's just add a separate one for home layer. I'm not sure if we ever set it to current main layer. If this dot pose within location in node and this dot, what am I thinking, home layer? I don't know. This might be a little wrong. We'll fix it later. This dot home layer dot on touch. Let's make sure also that this dot home layer dot visible, if it's visible, on touch, and this home layer dot on touch began location in node. Wait, here I use touch. I don't know. Let's just use location in node for now. So when that's touchdown, this will be called, and let's say touchdown check. Maybe another reason to be on the App Store is that those players are more comfortable, like if, for example, if you have like in-game consumables, like maybe players are more used to buying things in the app game, and they would be uncomfortable like using PayPal or whatever it is on the website. Maybe the monetization, maybe that's an important factor too to many developers as well. But that's gonna be different for me because I'm going for Patreon for this game eventually, if it ever gains an audience or whatever. When it does. Press down. Okay, let's just try that. I think there's some stuff that's wrong, but this will give us a start. Home. Okay, if we go down, nothing happens. Let's see. touchdown check. So okay, it is happening. So if it's within, so let's see if it's within the button. We might have to like remove and add the button child. I didn't do that yet. Put some music on my headphones. So if we go down, it says within. So we know the problem. Let me delete these logs. We know the problem is in the campaign button file. Let's go to home campaign and maybe we should just remove everything. Let's dot remove child this dot button bg. And let's add it. This dot add child this dot button bg. Save. Refresh. We're about 1 hour into the stream. I think I'll stream for another hour, get lunch, then I'll come back for the afternoon. But I do have some video stuff to be working on. I want to release a lot of videos next week, so I've been kind of working on that in the afternoons and stuff. Okay, so it goes down, and of course we need to worry about when it goes up and all that stuff, but it looked good when it went down. So, but it covered up the label, so we can fix that by making the label exist on a z-plane of 1, so I think that it'll always appear above the button. So let's just make sure I'm right about that. So we go down, the play still is there. We actually probably want to move down a little bit, so we'll probably have to do that. And also the black label needs to have a z-plane of 1, 2, the echo of the shadow of the text. So, and I'm watching the chat on YouTube and Twitch as well on the side here, so let me know if you have any questions or comments or feedback. So let's go to the OnTouch end. Oh wait, home campaign, home layer. So OnTouch began. So I want to work on OnTouch moved. Okay, so we're gonna have a flag called. Okay, actually, we have a flag in the campaign button called pressed. So here, OnTouch moved. If it's within the campaign button and it's not pressed, so if we move it out or if we move it within, that's what we want to look for. So first we'll say if this dot campaign button dot pressed, if it's pressed and the position is not within the campaign button, that means we've moved our finger outside of the button and we need to unpress it. This dot campaign button dot press up. But if it isn't pressed, and it's moved within, so that means you're moving it back into the play button, then we can press it down again. And then when we touch, when we let go of our touch, by that point, if we're in the button, then it'll just take us to a new screen, so we don't need to worry about fixing this. Or actually we might, because it persists. So yeah, on touch ended. This .campaign button will press up here as well. This .campaign button press up. So let's do the press up function here. And again, the press down still needs a little polish. Press up. But yeah, my plan is to replicate this for all the buttons. I'm doing this under the advisement of Mattman PS2, who was kind of walking me through how to do this and why it's good, and showing me his examples. So I definitely agree. It's gonna really improve the look of these buttons. I think they're gonna belong in the game. Won't be as flat, kind of. And I think we can improve them more in the future as well. Press up. This .pressed equals false. That's the most important thing. And we do all this except with the normal button. So I think this works. There could be difficulties if you like move it outside. I don't know. I think it'll work. Okay, hold down, move out. So if we go in and out, it presses down the button. And we'll let go, it takes us to the place, and we go back, the button's back to normal. So now let's move the play text a little bit down to compensate for how much it's moving down. So to do that, I'm going to open up the photo we were working with. I want to know how far it goes down. So we can measure that by looking at the distance from the top it is. Actually, we can probably just zoom in and look at its position. So it is right here. It is 22. So it moved down like 22. So it's moved down 22 and it's 199 high. So that's like the ratio it moved down. 22 out of 199. That is the magic number. 22, 199. Just gonna write that down before I forget. Okay, so we're going to take that times this dot button bg dot height times this dot button bg dot scale. So that's gonna, this number that I have now is the ratio of how far it went down times the height of the button, and that's going to say exactly how far the button's moving down on the screen, how many pixels, and we just have to move the label that many pixels down. So that's going to be easy. So we can do that by this dot title is the name of the label. I think we just set y like this. I usually use the attribute function, but let's try that. So when we move down, it should move the label down a little bit. And it'll keep moving it down, so we need to make it go back up after we let go. Hello to everyone in the chats. I'm on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, streaming right now. I'm streaming my game Emoji Pop, which you can play at playemojipop.com. And right now I'm working with people in the chat on the UI redesign that's going to be going live on Monday, along with the new world and new obstacle I'm releasing. which I do every Monday. So if I hold down the play button, wow, it moves down a lot more than it should. That's weird. So let's look at that. Oh, I'm setting it equal to this. It should be this dot title dot y minus all that. Let's hit refresh. The cool thing about Emoji Pop is that it's a really fun bubble shooter game that I think really embraces the awesomeness of bubble shooters in ways that bubble shooters on the app stores don't. They cater to like casual players and they try to pinch players to make a lot of money. I'm like making a true bubble shooter in my opinion. And the coolest thing about it is you can make your own levels in the game. And you can share them directly to social media or with your friends, and anyone in the world can play them from any device. So, and I'm using the stream and YouTube to work to build a community and to teach players game design so that maybe they can someday even get a job doing this in the industry. I used to be a bubble shooter level designer. That was my first job in the industry, so that's kind of some of the motivations behind this game. It's free online at playmotipop.com, and let's look at the play button. So it went down, and it went down an appropriate amount. It keeps going down every time I do that though. So that's good, we fixed that. So we also need to move the shadow text down as well. This dot, what's it called? Title BG, probably. Title BG dot y equals this dot title BG dot y minus, oops, all of this. I'm streaming Monday through Friday, working on the games usually in the mornings and often in the afternoons as well, but sometimes I mix it up with some other stuff, game design stuff, playing indie games, playing games from people in the chat. So feel free to give me a follow so you can occasionally check in the progress, or you can give me feedback and be a part of the game. So we dropped the title back. So now we need to, in the press up, we need to move the text up. So we can do that by adding that value back. And we should be good. So if this works well, we'll just do this for all the buttons on this page, and then we'll kind of do the same thing on the other pages. So go to home and hit play, goes down. Cool, and we can always improve on this stuff in the future, but looks good for now. One thing we wanted to do is it's a little stretched out right now, this button. But I might set it for like a V2 pass, because we can probably improve this button in other ways we were talking about. So I think that's good for right now. Let's do the same thing with create. So when you hold down create, it should go down the same way. So let's just copy and paste these two functions we created into the home editor button. Maybe I should have made these the same file, but that's okay. So instead of play, the button's name is orange. Title, button BG, and in the home layer, on touch ended, we need to do the same thing for the editor button. Instead of campaign button, I think it's editor button. And then we need to do the same stuff on the untouched began and moved. So if it's not the campaign button, maybe it's the editor button that the player tapped down. Okay. So on touch moved, we'll just copy and paste all this. the editor button. Is that all we need to do? Let's see. Home, create, down, up. Only thing we need to do is change it so that the labels are above the button. Oh, why is this so high? So the play button now is a little weird. Okay, let's see what's happening. Go down and play, move out. Okay, it seems like it's working now. Okay, let's do the folder button. And actually, this folder is really small all of a sudden. I think I just created it without a file. Yeah, it's just a white button and folder images here. It's 70% of the height, it's saying. Doesn't look like it's 70% of the height. What if it was 100%? Why is it so small? I'm setting the scale to be the entire height of the button. Oh. Because I'm using scale X and scale Y, I need to do that here as well. So let's try times 0.7 now, and it should look about the same. Oops. Okay, so let's go home. And alright, this looks bigger. Let's just move it up a little bit. Why is it off-centered? It's not even in the middle. Let me look at the image itself to see if it's weird. Okay, I want to see. There's a lot of space especially on the top. So I'm going to crop it down to the content. Why is it transparent here? Whatever. Okay, now let's see how it looks. Might be a little too big now. Whoa, I can right click on stuff and it does it. Weird. I don't know why this is transparent. What did I do? It's a little too low. Let's make it a little higher. Folder button dot y, the bottom, plus. Oh, it's a little. It's only a little off center because this bottom doesn't look like it's part of the button. So let's make it actually at like. Oops. Times 0.55. That should look better. And let's just implement the folder button going down. Okay. Else if this dot pose within scaled pose this dot folder button. So it doesn't have an object to itself, it's just a sprite on the screen. So we're going to do this. We're going to just create a function in this file called this.press folder down. We can create right here. And we'll have one for up as well. And let's look at one of these functions. Okay, this dot folder pressed. That's going to be something we create. False initially. It's going to remove folder button. And then it's going to create folder button again, but in the down state. I think the name of it is called white BG down. And then instead of moving the title, we're going to move the folder image because it doesn't have a label. It has this image and there's no backdrop to it. Okay, that should be good for the down. Let's do the up. Actually, let's just model it off of this. This is much closer. So this is when we let go. The folder pressed is now false. We're going to remove it and add the original button. Is it WebBG2? Nope. And we add instead of subtract. So we call it here. So the first two are play, next two are edit, these are folder. These are the main top buttons. If this dot, what did I call it? Folder pressed? Yes. If the folder is pressed and the folder button is not being pressed, then let go of the button, but if it's not being pressed and then it becomes pressed, then we're going to press down. Okay. Let's see if that works. The folder button should move down and up like the rest of them. And then we'll have one wave of the drop down buttons working, and we can go to the next layer to work on the next buttons. Maybe I'll start with the home button. Folder disappears. That's different. That's not good. So on touch began, if it's within the folder button, press folder down. So this press folder down is a function which removes the folder button and then adds it 0, 0. Let's look at the folder button definition. Maybe we're scaling it wrong. And we're doing the same thing here. I just used the wrong code here. Let's test it out. Want to make sure this is working before we do any changes. Oh, editor button dot y. We don't want it changing. See, the play label just randomly ends up higher up. I wonder why that is. Disappears still. This folder button that press up. I wrote the wrong name of the function, but I don't think that's why it's disappearing. but we needed to fix this anyway. Test it out. Alright, home disappears. Who's down here? Okay, what? Thought I fixed that. So and then the place up here. What is happening? Just want to see that happen one more time so I can try to figure out what happened. Okay, we go down, disappears, and then when I move, I think it appears down here. So weird. Okay, on touch began. If the position is within, scaled. If the position is within the folder button, run press folder down, which sets the folder press to true. It removes the folder button, creates it again, white BG down. Maybe there's no white BG down yet. Okay. There's still another problem, but this will help clear it up. Peace out. Have a great weekend, says Matt PS2. Good luck with the clicky click buttons. Thank you so much. Thanks to you, I think I'm confident that I can accomplish that. I'm really excited. I hope you have a really great weekend too, Matt PS2. Thanks so much for all the help. Have a great time at that cottage, and I hope to see you Monday or sometime early next week so I can get your feedback to the new version of the game. So have a really awesome weekend. So what the? So I think I'm using like scale. Let's see. Beer is in my near future. See, I was gonna say, I was like, I hope you drink a lot of beer, but I didn't know who you were. So like, I didn't know if you were into that. But yeah, that's awesome. I was hoping that beer was in your future. It's in my future as well. I think tonight. I like IPAs. Beer in a cottage, that's like heaven. IPAs are good. Michigan has a huge craft beer scene. Cool, that's awesome. That's dope. I gotta make my way to Michigan. Folder button. Yeah, I like IPAs, but after like a couple months of drinking them, I'll need a break. And then I can appreciate normal beer again. So here's the problem. I'm using the variable scale, but when I set the scale X and Y separately, that means the scale doesn't exist. I have to use scale X or scale Y. That's why it's crashing. Should be using scale Y here and down here. Maybe that's not why it's crashing. That's one of the reasons why it's crashing. Do I use scale anywhere else? No. Yeah, Batman PS2 is gonna be drinking beer in a cottage, playing some video game maybe. Swimming in the lake. I wish I could like play like my music over the stream, but like copyright. So we go down. Oh my gosh. So when we move, that's when it appears here, and this goes up. Something, I think it's calling, it must be calling campaign button press up or something. What is happening? This was going so well. I'm also watching the chat on YouTube and Twitter in addition to Twitch, so feel free to ask me any questions about the game or give me any feedback. Need to give these glasses a break. Ugh. They give me a headache sometimes. Folder button. So OnTouch began. If it's within the folder, button O. So because I'm setting scale X and Y differently, maybe that's why it's not working. I don't think I need to be setting the scales again, or do I? I guess I do. So this is why it's broken. I got rid of the folder button. I'm setting it to the Y position even though I haven't set it yet. So we need to say whatever it was originally, which is editor button, not Y, okay. Okay, now it might even work actually. Let's go. Still not exactly sure why that title is going up during that bug, but maybe we'll figure that out now. Alright. Down. Oh my gosh. File not found. Okay, that's not the worst. Maybe I just didn't. I feel like I just didn't do this for white yet. Okay. Where did I save that? Okay, it should be in the right folder. It should be working now. Ah. It goes down, comes back up. That is good. And the play button somehow is lifted up. Okay. So the only thing we need to worry about is the folder image. It's not. Are we removing it or something? Oh, we need the folder image to have a larger z-axis so that it appears above at all times. So let's go to the folder image, which is up here. We set its z-axis to 1, and now it should work. And let's figure out why the play label is moving up. I'm doing this whole game in JavaScript, just so you're aware. I'm using the Cocos 2D.js engine. This goes down, goes back up. Okay, so when it goes back up, that's when the play button goes up. I don't know why it's doing that. It is somehow calling the home campaign's press up function. That's the only way. Which means this is getting called somewhere. This is only in 2 places. So campaign button dot pressed. So it's campaign button pressed. It should start as false. Wow. That's why. I just didn't it right. Okay, I just didn't do it here yet. This dot pressed equals false. Okay. Let's see if that makes anything weird. Alright, go to home. And it doesn't make anything weird happen, and we can press all the buttons. Alright, awesome. And then making sure they work. Maybe this should be a home icon too. I need it to be more important here. Okay, that's fine for now. Yeah, I'll need to think about that. So now let's do the home button right here. I want to make that press as well. We also might need to like do something so that like if I do this, it doesn't take us out of the game. If like if I was aiming, or maybe when I'm aiming, that thing goes away. Maybe everything should go away when I'm aiming. And then when I go down, it resets. When I let go. And that kind of reinforces the idea that you have to hold down a little bit. I kind of like that. So let's open up our list. So maybe something we should do is remove or slide play elements out when aiming, stays gone when lower, cancel shot until finger let go to stays gone when lower, cancel shot until finger let go, preventing accidental touches. Reinforces drag. Okay. So let's do the home button. So this is within, where's the home button? It's probably in the gameplay layer. Aha, here it is. This is where we create the home button. I'm gonna copy the definition so we can use it later. We're needing to do that press up, press down thing again. Okay, on touch began. Does this have an on touch began? Oh yeah, it must. Okay, if input frozen, there's that. So this is gonna be if this dot pose within scaled pose this dot home button. So that happens. Then we need to press it down. So we need to remove the home button. We'll do that by removing the child, removing it from the scene. But first, there's something else we need to do. There's a flag, so this dot home button pressed equals true. And then we create the new home button. This is going to be down though. Home height. I'm just gonna make that not a local variable. Okay, so don't worry about that. So it changes it, it recreates the home, replaces it with the down version. So there's something else we need to do, right? Oh, we need to lower the text. So what it's called, home label. I have two things named home label. I'm guessing one of them is the background. Yeah, this is supposed to be background. That's weird. Okay. So home label dot y equals this dot home label dot y minus, and then that same ratio. So let's go back to where that was. So here's the ratio. And instead of folder button, we're using the home button. So this is going to lower the label, and we're going to put all this in a function. This dot press home down gonna cut all this, paste it in there. Oops. Okay. So let's do press home up now. Okay, and let's copy all this. Oops. The flag is false. We're resetting it to the original image. This is booster top Y. I didn't see that. So I'll set another this dot booster top Y. Well, this is a lazy way to make sure we don't have to change anything. Okay, press home down, so it's now this dot booster top Y. That's where we start the Y. We could have done something else, but whatever. This works. So it adds it, and for up we need to raise, and also there's a background label we need to consider as well. Okay. We need to add this variable, this flag to the top. We don't need to, but it's a good idea. Yeah, feel free to ask me any questions in the chats. I got them open right here. I'm streaming every day, Monday through Friday. Stream in the mornings. I do GameDev. Often do it in the afternoons as well. We're gonna make this awesome game together. You can design your own levels, and I can play them live on the stream if you do that. Okay, let's just see how that works. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, I am. On touch began. So this presses the home button down. Okay, on touch moved. I'm gonna make this go down below. Okay, so this is where we say like, so if this dot home button pressed is false and it's within, then we press down. Otherwise, if you're moving and it is pressed, this dot home button is currently pressed down, but you're not within the home button, that means you moved out of it, and we press it up. And then we need to also press it up when you actually do press the home button. Make sure when you come back, it is actually in the right initial position. Where is the home button? Okay, this is where we open home. So we press home up and go to home. Let's see if we got it. think I'll try to finish these buttons, and then I'll go for lunch, and we can come back and pick up where we left off. Listening to Run the Jewels. Why isn't it loading? 268. So it says the home button height. Oh, wait. What's it saying? Can't read property height if undefined. Oh, home label. Why are the... Oh, yeah, okay, wait. I feel like it's supposed to be home button. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know how this got changed. Okay, now it's super high up for some reason. What did we do? Okay, whatever. Okay, and touch home button is not defined. 1101. We'll go back. Home button.y plus. Why am I even adding this? I get it. Why is it so high up? I don't understand what's happening. And it should be times its scale. Okay, it looks good now. So we press down. There's a bug at 1082. Home button is not defined. Did I just add a this? Okay, yeah. This the home button. I feel like some stuff might be wrong, but like this was wrong. There's no scale Y, it's just scale here. That was a silly mistake. Let's see if it works now. It might work now. If you're new to the stream, my name is Dylan, and I'm making this game called Emoji Pop, and I stream it every day, every weekday. Every week we release a new version on Monday that includes the updates that I work on with the followers, like Matt Man in the chat. And every week we also release a new emoji obstacle. It totally changes the way the game is played. And the coolest thing about the game is that you can create your own levels and share them with the whole world. But yeah, let's go back to play, and it looks okay. When we go back, the home label's gone, but it's okay. So when we go back out, it looks like it's working. this is what I want. When you aim, I want this to be gone. I think everything should just disappear. Let's focus on the action. Another thing is when you open a star, yeah, there's a little bug where it's showing a bottom UI bar, which I think I want to get rid of anyway. But when you make matches, things go into it and fills up, so we need to like get rid of all that functionality. So I'm gonna write that down as a note. That's something I'll do this afternoon. Might have to possibly work on it this evening. Star level, get rid of bottom bar, can't see shooter. Cool. So yeah, I was also looking at what we're doing future weeks after this UI redesign. That's what we're doing now. But in the future I want to work on the meta. Let me refresh. Just wanted to look at this for a second. I want to work on the meta maybe next week. That includes the avatar customization and like the meta stuff. Like you have tasks that you get, and if you complete them, you earn rewards and stuff. And then video integration after that, which is I want my videos that I make in level design tutorials and podcasts all to be playable within the game online. And you can minimize them so that they're still playing in the corner, but so you can like make levels while the level tutorial's open or whatever it is. And it'll show like my latest videos or whatever it is. And then after that I have some other ideas. Like I want to do the same kind of thing with streaming. Like whenever I go live, it'd be cool if the game showed that I was live on Twitch. Additional modes. So I have a mode where the levels scroll down. But I could have other modes too. I have some ideas. I would love ideas from the chat. Level editor functionality. So I have different ideas for tools that make it easier to make levels and stuff like that. And then more analytics. I want to put more analytics stuff in the game so I have more hooks that show me what I need to be improving on or how my changes to the game impact everything. All I have is like how many people are going to the website basically right now. So that's all on my list. We're gonna do it all together. This game is all about game design and game development. You can open up the level editor to make your own levels. I have a bunch of levels that I've made, and then you can instantly share them with the whole world by sharing them directly to social media, or you can send someone you know a link to your level and see if they can beat it. You can challenge them, kind of. And that's another thing. Eventually, it'd be cool if like sharing levels, like leader board, like if you keep track of high scores, and like so you could like challenge your friends who can beat this level, kind of, or who in the world can beat this with the fewest moves or whatever. There's one more thing I thought of. Oh yeah, like more like I had like events, some events in the game, and like thinking about reintegrating them. Oh, I was also thinking like it'd be cool like a game like Fall Guys. Like people in the mobile industry and the games, some of them think about like how do we implement that live kind of gameplay like that HQ made popular, where every day at noon and 5 like there's a new HQ game and everyone plays at the same time and it's like this event. Like it makes the game an event, which is important. And so it'd be cool if there was a way to do that in my game, like every day at noon and 5 like there was some like battle royale bubble shooter kind of event where you're trying to be the #1 player, or like you make it a few rounds or beat the level as fast as possible, see how high you can climb, whatever it is. I think that could be cool. Especially, it would be a lot of work, but I think it could be really cool. So, just another idea. But yeah, I think like, I don't know. I have a lot of like cool emojis that are going in the game, and they start to really ramp up in complexity in the next screen. So, I have the next few months of like emojis set up with just some details to work on. I also need to work on like sound and animations. So this is like everything I need to be doing in the game, and probably there's more too. at least it's good to get started with the UI stuff, and I'll probably do a V2 in a few weeks with more stuff considered. Because I've gotten a lot of feedback about the UI, but I've had a lot of help from Mattman PS2, who has some experience with this. He's been helping me out with the buttons and everything. What time is it? It's 1:30. Wow. I think I'm gonna take a break. We're at 2 hours. I'm gonna be back a little bit later, and next week I'm streaming Monday through Friday again. So make sure to follow me on Twitch. You can also follow me on Twitter. At the bottom you can see the link there. I stream Monday through Friday, and if you follow me on Twitter, you can see all my updates. But most importantly, you should go to playmojipop.com. You should play the game, and you should give me feedback. You should make levels and share them with me so I can play them on the stream and feature them in the game. But yeah, that's all I got for now. We'll be back a little bit later to finish off this UI redesign stuff, at least most of it. And